Welcome back to Life with Paulette. Today is Sunday, another Let's Talk. I know yesterday, you guys, we just had a ball with all of the door dashing and, communicating. Before we start, I just want to make sure that my internet is going well. I want to make sure that you guys can hear me good, or I need to do some changes. So if you guys are in the chats right now, can you let me know if you can hear me? If how's the sounding? If the sounding is good, give me a thumbs up and let me know. I'll appreciate it. I'll wait for some of you guys to come in. Maybe you guys can help a sister out right now, because I want to make sure that I don't start talking and then halfway in between the conversation, y'all are like, I can't hear you, Paulette. The thing is muted. But while the others come in, guys, I'm just want to go ahead and update you guys on what happened yesterday. So yesterday we finished off our week really strong, both me and Sister Elvira, because we were out doing dashing together and we were on live, and everybody just went on and they were, just making sure that everybody was having a good time, and we were encouraging other people on how to make their extra money. And today's topic, we're just going to just talk about the things in life, that we're going through. I talk about my struggles. I talk about the things that I'm going through, things that I'm learning. On Sundays, basically a kickback, relaxed type of day, where we just upgrade, update from what been happening in the past, so you guys can get a fresh, or maybe we learn something new today. And today's topic, I don't know, like I mentioned, where we're going to go, but we're going to talk about something. And what I'm feeling that we're going to talk about is mastering our emotions. I think that that's something that we need to talk about. I did jot down a few notes for you guys, so that way, for in case you want to take a few notes, just get your pen and your paper, because we will definitely be going through each and every one of them. Hi, Jared. How are you today? Hope all is well. How is the sound to you? Do you hear the sound a little bit better than I know a few days ago that when I came on, the sounding was just all over the place, and I was muted for a period of time. I don't know how, I don't know why, guys. I'm learning this as well. So if you guys coming in, I just want to let you guys know that I want to ask if you're hearing the sound, if the sound is perfect, if I need to change something. My husband did help me out here with my MacBook. He connected it with the phone and he did his little gadget thing, guys. So if you guys are hearing better sounding, it's because of Apple, y'all know. Um, um, right now I say performance reduce. Allowing your Mac to cool down may help. Okay, I guess something is hot. So let me turn on the fan here to make sure that this map app don't go out. But anyway, if this computer go off, I'll just come on again, so you guys don't go anywhere. But today, I'm basically connected to my Mac, and I just got a little, something telling me that the performance of my Mac needs to cool down. I know that I updated whatever is in the system, so to connect my phone to the Mac, and now it's giving me something. So we cut out, guys. Just let me know, and letting you guys know I'll be right back on, just so that you can, catch up with the conversation. But like I mentioned, today we're going to talk about mastering our emotions. And I know many of us up in here, we can definitely gather a few notes, or maybe or may not be going through the same scenarios, but I know that I can be very emotional every once in a while. You may not know that, but my family does. Okay. And emotions don't always have to be, where, you're not what they would call, invisible emotions. I mean, I can be emotionally on the opposite stream as well, where people can either raise voices, people get quiet. There are different types of emotions. And right now I want to talk about mastering emotion, self-development traits that we all should learn to help us. I know everybody, we read our scriptures and everything is in the scripture. That's perfect. That's a discipline, a daily discipline that we all take. However, though, I just wanted to mention that we need a lot of self-development as well. So even though on a daily basis, I know I get up and I'm reading my scriptures, I'm in the book, I'm doing devotions and stuff like that, but I need a little bit extra on how to develop certain traits and characteristic from people that's either, you know, did it, done it, and just sharing their little tips and tricks. And that helps me out within my life and I can apply it to myself. So, let me see. I want to shout out Georgina. Thank you, Georgina, for coming in here and, you know, just supporting the channel. Also, we have up in here social media. I want to shout out to you too for dropping by. And Jared, thank you for coming in as well and dropping by. We're going to talk about fixing ourselves. So fix yourself, okay? And everything else can wait. That is what we're going to talk about. How to fix yourself. And I'm talking about me. How am I going to fix myself? How I've been fixing myself for these last couple months or years. You know, on a daily basis, we can always go and adjust our sail consistently, okay? Because we go through changes every so often in our life that we need to apply a few standards and a few traits that's going to help us get better so we can move forward instead of dragging that little caravan of rocks, you know. Hi, EFB, greetings, come on in, girl. We're going to talk today about mastering our emotions. That's what we're going to talk about. I was sitting down, I did my devotion this morning, and actually the book of the month for me here is John Maxwell. I don't know if you guys heard of him. He's a great motivational speaker and basically is the daily reader. And today's, it comes with a daily reader. So all the whole 12 month is up in here. And today they're talking about the past impacts the present, guys. So that was my readings for today, the past impact the present. If you guys don't have a book of the month or you just really don't know where to start in your life journey to improving yourself and developing yourself on the side of reading your scriptures, I'll highly recommend you all start with like a John Maxwell. If you're having issues with your finances and need a little tip here and there, I'll highly recommend you guys listen to someone like Robert Kiyosaki, or you can also get great information from Dave Ramsey. And basically my other motivational speaker that I listened to that helped develop me when it came to that self-development in business or in life was Miles Monroe. He was somebody that did a lot of, you know, success, had a lot of success with his business, his development, his finances, and he taught a lot of, you know, great little tips that I want to share with you guys today. Okay, so like I was mentioning, today's topic, we're going to talk about mastering our emotion. And basically the self-development is fix yourself. And if you're hearing me good, put a 1 in the comments so that way I'll know that you guys are hearing me. All the sounding is right, because we're going to go through the 9 little tips that I'm going to give you guys, and we're going to go through them to help fix yourself. The first one is, you ready for the first one? We're going to take some responsibility. Yes, take responsibility is number 1. Taking responsibility is one of the hardest things that a human being basically has to go through, because nobody wants to say that they're wrong, or nobody wants to acknowledge that they may have done or made the wrong choices. Okay, some of us take responsibility quicker than others. Some has to think about it, but I highly suggest that by fixing ourselves, we're going to take that responsibility right off the bat. We may not rub right on everybody, and everybody may not rub right on us, but as maturity kicks in, you'll start to see where you fall short every so often, and you'll be able to correct yourself. A lot of time we are trying to do all this outward correction, when in reality, we need to look in the mirror and look at ourselves and say, listen, you need to fix yourself. And you're looking in the mirror because the finger is pointed at you. You know, you got to fix you. I have no control over the outside. I have no control over any challenges or circumstances that may come up upon me in my life, you know, but the only thing I can control is how I respond to it. All right. So there's crazy things that go on in life, and we may say, but that person, and we're trying put the blame on the outside instead of realizing that no, take a deep breath, you acknowledge, you look around you and make sure that, listen, you see where the problem is. You may cry about it, you may scream about it, you may pout about it, you may huff and puff. I don't know how you do your stuff. And then all of a sudden, guys, we must learn to let it go. So when you're dealing with taking responsibility, it's good to learn good disciplines in how to execute the response. So give an example. For you guys knew that we went on our family vacation this year, right? And we got on the airport, guys, and we were excited because we were going on a Mexican cruise. We get there, walk all the way down, took us nearly 30 minutes to get to the Lax airport. And by the time we got down there, guys, it was like our luggage was gone. So what could we do? Do we stay there and we cry about it? Do we stay there and we just scream about it? We're grown. The kids are looking at us like to say, okay, how are we going to do this, daddy, mommy? And we had to execute and implement taking responsibility. And we could stay there and pout all we wanted, or we could just figure out, well, what's the next step? What could we do with a certain period of time, and we activate and respond, but when we're in control of that response. So we were in control of the response that we did. We had a moment where we wanted to cry, but we didn't. And, we took that responsibility, like to say, you know what, maybe we should have not stopped off at the bathroom and came directly down. There was a lot of coulda, shoulda, wouldas within the whole context of what was going on. But at the end of the day, guys, we must learn to take responsibility and be proactive with it. Don't stay there, become a victim of the circumstance. We must learn to be proactive so that way we can execute and find plan B and be resilient as well. Not just cave and crack once circumstances or life be life in us. We must learn to know how to turn over fast, because not all the time you're going to have a few weeks or a few days to think about it. Sometimes you have to be resilient and just come back, boom, with the response and keep it moving. Okay, so number one, like I mentioned, you have to fix yourselves. For you guys that's just coming in, make sure you hit that thumbs up. My StreamYard looks a little bit different. I guess they updated something within here. So I'm just going to go ahead and be like, okay, well, it looked a little bit different compared to the last time, but I know that I'm on a different computer as well. So it could be that, it could be that the new screen and the new outlook that I'm seeing is different. So I don't know, guys. Anyway, I'm on the new computer for those that's just coming in. And it's already telling me that the Mac needs to cool down. So if we cut out, I'm going to come back in. Y'all don't go nowhere, okay? But by the way, let's go back to this. Mastering our emotions. Number one, and I talked about taking responsibility and not point fingers at the outside. Whatever's going on, good, bad, or indifferent, we must learn to take that responsibility and be proactive in it. Not sit there and just blame everybody else. And I feel like a lot of times as well, when we come to taking responsibility, if we're going to put a responsibility on us and we have a concern or situations, it's good to not so much like confront an individual in a good or a bad in a bad way. But I feel like if I'm having a little concern with something that you're doing for me, I should be able to pull you over and say, hey, da 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 da. And we should not have that little where, this person is pointing at this one or this one is pointing at the other one. I just feel honestly that taking responsibility starts from accepting that whatever you did first, so we can move on and chuck it off as a loss or a gain. But you know what? It's a lesson, and it's a moment that you can learn from. And when you move into your other season, you'll be like, you know what? I was in that season in my life. I don't want to go there again. This is what I learned, and we not repeat it again. So that is a great way for taking responsibility as well. And life is full of challenges, guys. We may be in this season and we may be challenged. I may be going through my challenge and you may be going smooth in this season. And then next season comes around, I may be going smoothly and you may be going through a little rough patch. Life going to be lifing until death do us part. So we must learn how to activate and take responsibility while we may not have control over everything. but we do have control of how we respond to it. Okay. The second, um, the second one that I want to talk about is mastering your emotions. And I wrapped a little bit of that up into the first one as well. When we master our emotions. And I was listening to one of my motivational speaker, which is Miles Monroe, and he always talk about, once we're mastering emotions, it don't mean that, you're not gonna feel it. You will feel it. The thing is back to the first one is how are you going to respond to it. My emotions, I can be very sensitive sometimes, especially if I feel like I'm under attack, or if I'm backed up in a place where I need to fight for myself, as you want to call it. But at the end of the day, guys, when we master our emotions, nothing can come in and affect us. We will hear something, it will just roll off of our shoulders, and you become more resilient to certain for the outward life in that be going on, and you will be able to control how you respond to whatever is going on within your life, and always remain in your seat. Stay calm and remain in your seat regardless of the chaos. That is definitely a maturity that we all are striving for. Okay, because when things start to come in our little space, we get a little congested. We start to fight, like fight and push things away because we are feeling overwhelmed, or we're feeling like we're congested. And mastering emotion is knowing that you're going through something, but you can stay in your seat and not flip out, or not throw that tantrum, or not just break your cool. Okay, it's about taking control. Sometimes mastering emotions meaning stay silent. We don't have to respond to everything. We don't have to go out there and be fussing and fighting with everything. Sometimes silence is your best weapon. Okay, just like how no can be your best weapon sometimes, silence also is a master of maturity. Okay, so mastering your emotions is the number two that I would highly recommend, according to the motivational speaker. I'm giving you guys a few tips that I've listened to and they give to me, and I want to share it with you guys because it's been working with me awesomely. And the other thing is shift your mindset. They did a little like not so much a dialogue, but they did like a little experiment with each other. Like when somebody says something, it's always great for you to stop and think about, okay, that person said that, and not go to the negative extreme of things. Okay. He talked about when you feel like someone said something that was attacked to you, stop and think, was it for me? Or if it was for me, how are you going to respond to what was said? Are you going to go back with the same type of fire? Are you going to stay calm, and you're going to be a little bit more reserved, that when you do respond, it's going to be a nice little response where you're going to get your point across with class. Okay. But shifting your mindset is something where we must not always think that the other person is out to get us. And sometimes, most of the time, especially I'm talking about me, okay? When somebody says something back in the day, I would always feel like they meant me. So I will always be ready and be in this attack mood. Y'all know what I'm talking about, girls. Girls, you know what I'm talking about, especially certain times where, in that month where you're like overly emotional. So everything that somebody will say or they'll do, I would respond more on a defensive side. When in reality, the person was probably just talking in general, didn't have you on the last part of their minds, guys. But at the end of the day, we always insert ourselves in somebody else's situation because we feeling that they probably was talking to us. So shifting your mindset to think positive, to make sure that whatever your response is and whatever is coming your way, you're in control. That's where we go back to the rule number one, which is taking responsibility and mastering your emotions. Don't get bent out of shape, guys. Let's stay in that seat and shift the mindset, meaning that whatever we're receiving in, whatever we are, experiencing, or whatever conversation that we do have, make sure that we expect the best out of that conversation and not shift it all over in a negative way. Because sometimes we can hinder as a person or an individual when in reality they just meant well, but we took it wrong. So that's where responsibility kicking, where you have to be like, you know what, I'm sorry, I apologize, I misread what you were saying, or I did something, or I said something that was a little bit too harsh, so I apologize for that. So shifting the mindset. And one way that can help with the mindset as well, I know we all read the scriptures. I'm going to keep saying that. That's a positive book right there. We want to continue reading scriptures, but sometimes some of us, even just like how even the scriptures would tell us that we need more than just, prayer. Sometimes we need the extra fasting too to get it together. That's the same thing when it comes to self-development. You can have all the prayer and fasting, but if you don't know nothing, or you're blinded or dumb to self-developing yourself, and you have no awareness of yourself, guys, you are destroying yourself, okay? Because it gets to the point where you either become a little bit too toxic that nobody want to be around, or you become too overly over the top and nobody don't want to be around either. So let's try to find a nice little middle between us, so that way you will be, whenever you have to say something, you'll be received in a good manner as well, because whatever we give, we're going to get back. So if you give negative, then negative is what you're going to get back. If you give positive and negative come in, that other person gonna feel crazy, because they're like, oh my gosh, I shouldn't. They think more, okay? Because they know that you're a positive person, and if they're thinking in that manner, then it will clash, because you're not that person. But sometimes when people tell us things and we think negative, oh my God, they said that about us, and we go back to try it, and we could be strong and wrong. Many times I've been strong and wrong. That's what my mom always tell me. Paulette, you are strong and wrong, and you need to adjust your sail. I get it all the time, okay? Because listen, these little 9 steps or tips, I'm handing them over to you. Make sure you jot them down. I'm going to read them after I complete them. But on number 3, talked about shifting the mindset. Make sure you guys are reading motivational books to help develop you. Make sure you're reading your personality, because sometimes we have traits and pros and cons of ourselves that if we don't know that we have them, and other people is noticing, and just noticing, like, okay, that person don't want to hang with me no more. I wonder why. It's because you have one of those cons that you may not be aware of, and people's trying to steer away from. So it's good to learn yourself, good to read self-developing books, so that way you can be able to develop yourself. So when you present yourself to individuals that may not know you, your first impressions is always going to be the best one. So make sure that you're clean up and you're getting yourself right. So fix yourself is today's topic, and mastering our emotions. And I'm going to give you guys the 9 tips. And we are on tip number 3, which is shift your mindset. Tip number 4, find your purpose. A lot of time we are here in the world and we are just roaming around, and you don't know what your purpose is. Many don't even know what's a purpose. A purpose is something where it's something they're not even thinking about. They just walking, waking up every day, and they doing the same thing over and over with no little taste, no little salt to it. It's just bland. Okay, they're walking through life. All their little dreams and their little goals it's just goes to nothing, because they're not trying to figure out, why am I here? Who am I and why am I here? And I want you guys to ask yourself this question: who am I and why am I here? Because we all know that we're here to do God's will, but at the end of the day, do we really know why are we here and who are we? A lot of us don't know who we are. That's why we are lost, just roaming from room to room in life, because we don't know our purpose. So I would suggest to you guys to find your purpose. Tip number 4 is to find your purpose. That's your homework. Find a book, The Purpose Driven Life. Read it. Educate yourself. Find out, why are you here? Who are you here for? That way, when you wake up in the morning and you put your foot down and you inhale that first breath, and you say, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, God, for waking me up. And you know You know that you woke up because there's a purpose for you to be here today, for yesterday, for today especially. All you guys that's up in here that woke up today, that's a purpose. You're here for something, but some of us don't know what it is. So look for your purpose. Finding your purpose is definitely important. The next, number 5, is break free from old patterns. Can I close this book, guys? Break free from old patterns. If it didn't work for you back then, stop trying to put a little band-aid on it and put on a wig over it and think that nobody gonna notice it. It's still there. You have to change it. You have to pluck it out. I mean, we are walking around here with, let's talk about the invisible ones, the bad attitudes that we put a band-aid over, we smile here and there, but then inside of us it's just dark and nasty. The pettiness, they're invisible one. Not everybody know, because y'all can pick and choose who you want to be petty with, who you want to be all mean with. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Okay? There's negative patterns, things that we used to do back then as teenagers, being mean, petty, don't know how to control the tongue, just having sharp tongue. All of that is things that we have a pattern. Sometimes we can't go forward because God is like, moving you from here, Paulette, because you haven't learned to shush your face. You all time just got to give that last word, But let me fix you. We're going to keep you here in this season. And you know what happened, guys? A lot of time, because we're so stuck in old patterns, that every season we go in, we try to develop the same old nasty patterns and bring it over into the new season. And guess what? We're blocking our blessings, because when God take us from one season, we're not going to, it's only a temporary season for us to learn as much as we can learn. And some of us keep repeating the same season over and over because we keep dragging the same old nasty patterns into the new season and blocking our blessings. So if your blessings is being stagnant and you just feeling like, you know what, Lord, I ain't seeing what you promised. And he's like, how am I to get you for you to promise? And you can't let go of your old self. I think it's some part in the Bible to talk about putting the new wine into old skins or something like that. I don't know a whole thing about it, but it's similar like that, where you trying to add the new stuff into old nasty stuff. It just ruins the whole purpose. Okay, so you're gonna keep repeating that if you can't get over those old nasty patterns. So let's fix our patterns. If you're just coming in here, we're talking about how to fix ourselves. That's what we're talking about. Fix yourself instead of trying to fix everybody else. You adjust yourself. You fix yourself so that way, when you present yourself to somebody else, that you would know where you stand. Okay? So let's go on to number 6. We can't go forward if we are still fighting and trying to heal from our past. If you continuous on a daily basis trying to drag that wagon with all the rocks from your past into your future and your brand new season, you can't heal. And we're wondering why we're stagnant in the same place. It's because we're dragging old patterns, old materials, holding on to junk that was done to us 200 years ago, 300 years, 2,000 years ago, if you want to say it like that. I don't know, but I'm just saying we all have something that we are holding on to in our past that we can't move forward because we're not ready yet. We have not mastered our emotions because we're holding on to all of the old patterns, holding on to things because that we have not healed from yet. That we need to take time to ourselves. That's where the self-care come in. Give yourself self-care. I was talking to the lady a few days ago when I mentioned to you yesterday. I think it was on one of my Lyft rides. And this lady comes in my car and she was just, she had so much to say. And you all know I love to talk, like I mentioned. She was just talking and I was listening. And I could have feel that she just needed somebody to talk, to listen to her. And 40 minutes of our Lyft ride, she just kept talking and told me about her depression and told me about her bad anxiety and told me about her parents and how her mom and her dad um, it has dementia, and her mother have a fourth stage. Girl, if you let me tell you guys, when you talking about you better be read up, you better be read up, okay? You better put your armor on a daily basis because you don't know who you're gonna come into to drop all their rocks in your barrel and you can release them. Okay? I came in, she was like telling me all her problems. I had little tears in my eyes because I was like, oh my God, this lady's overwhelmed. Now I'm feeling overwhelmed with all the junk she's dropping on me. But I heard a little voice say, Paulette, just listen. Don't say nothing. Don't try to fix nothing because you know you love to fix things. Just be quiet. Just listen, nod your head yes, and you smile and say, oh, I am so sorry. You acknowledge the peoples and they're going through the pain. You acknowledge, you nod your head. And then when she was finished, guys, and I pulled up to her place, it was her and her daughter, by the way. And she told me her 9-year-old daughter is like her therapist, basically. Like whatever she's going through when she go into those depression moods, her 9-year-old daughter is there to comfort her through the pain that she's going through for whatever she went through in her past. And she did say something very smart, and she said, I realized that my daughter, basically, I'm overwhelming her. I shouldn't be the one, crying on her shoulders. She's 9. And she said, I'm 55. And here I am crying on my 9-year-old shoulders because she's not able to heal from her past. Guys, this is so serious. We carry in these things down to the kids. Then we wonder why the kid is so cuckoo. By the time they're ready to marry and find another wife or a husband, why they're so off. We wondering because they've been the parent at 9 and 10 years old to grown parents that been depressed people, and end up passing that on to their kids because we don't know how to separate. A kid and a child is supposed to stay in a child place. A grown up is in a grown up place. You don't mix the two. We were taught from a young age, listen, when you grown ups come, you exit. You exit, you ain't in no grown up conversation. I'm seeing the kids today, you're talking and they're right up in your conversation and how the audacity to say, who you all talking about again? Oh yeah, Sally was so and so. Yeah, I believe. Little kids in grown ups conversations, we will be getting that broomstick back in the day. I'm an island girl, so y'all know about the broomstick. Y'all be getting broomstick, okay? Probably the strap. Well, oops, that didn't sound good. But we call it the machine strap from where, okay, y'all get the memo there. But then we get spanks and stuff. Sometimes my grandfather would go out and get the coconut, the little coconut limb, and he would take off all the little leaf and that little stem. You put like 5 or 6 of them together and roll that up. This stings because we had to be taught from a young age. When grown-ups is talking, you exit the room. You ain't supposed to be around. So that pattern that she did, she's passing to her 9-year-old daughter, making a 9-year-old daughter think that she's the one who's pulling the punches, and she's taking all that responsibility in. When we were finished with our cab ride, she ended up asking me, she said, can I get a hug? And I was like, oh my gosh, a cab ride, I get a hug. I don't know what it is, guys. Every time when I got in an accident, the lady was like, can I get a hug? And then, yeah, the other day I took the lift lady, and the lady's like, can I get a hug? And she's crying. And now, if she cry, I'm gonna cry. So I'm in tears because I'm like, oh my God. And she's like, she said, you're light. You say you got a beautiful aura. She tells me your light is so bright. She said, I could feel. She said, I want a hug. And I hugged her. And then up come the little 9-year-old and asked me for a hug as well. So I hugged her too. And I was like, oh my God. And up come the sister. And the sister is saying, thank you. Because they know what they're dealing with. I only got a little bit of it in the car ride. But I knew it was a lot because the sister came out and take me. And before she got in the house, she said, don't worry. She said, I appreciate you. I'm going to give you a big tip. And before I could exit her little development, ding, the big tip dropped. She gave me a nice little tip. The whole reason is because when I came to the table that she was at with all of her mess, I made sure and didn't judge her for what she was going through. I encouraged her to to deal with a what do you call a therapist. I told her, I said, you have a therapist? It's good to talk to therapists, guys. There's nothing wrong. It don't mean you're crazy if you're talking to a therapist. That means that you need assistance. And basically she came in and she was like, oh my goodness, she said, thank you so much. Guys, we have to be enough light that when we go out there, I don't need to tell nobody that I'm following holiness. People should know that. You don't need to tell nobody that you're a Christian. People should know that. You should walk around with that on your sleeves. That light should be so bright that when they see you, they should know that that you are different. When I go anywhere, everybody know that I'm different. I'm just different. I come in with a different perspective of every time, and they know you're different. They can detect it. Why? Because when you say you're gonna do something, you do it with the best of your ability, and you don't do it for nothing in return. You do it and know that God is the one that's going to give the blessing. I don't need nothing back because I'm already blessed. God already blessed me. I'm alive. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. She is alive. That's all I need. Okay, I ain't looking for nothing in return. You can't give me nothing. And you can't take nothing from me either, because God, whatever God got for me is going to be for me. And you can't have it. Hallelujah. And I don't want nothing that's yours. Praise the Lord. Ain't that great? Ain't that great? But number 5 is we got to break free from old patterns, and we have to heal from our past. We can't take that with us, guys. We can't take it. So take your time, whichever one that you're at. When I finish, get to number 9, I want you to keep checking them. And wherever you're at, I want you to work on it, because I'm going to come back to this. We may have episode number 2 or maybe 3, because we're going to come back to this, because I want to check up on you guys. Okay, I'm reading it now. Number 6 says, you heal from your past. How are we going to fix ourselves? Well, first, take some time, guys. Let's heal from our past. I don't know your past. Okay, you know your past. So I can't tell you where to start, but you know where you have to start, and you know where you have to let go. Remember, acknowledge where you're at. You stay in the valley for a little bit, but you can't stay there forever. It's just a little bit. Okay? The process, it's going to take you a little bit to go into the valley. Some of us have really strong paths that we need to put some time in. That we're thinking that we're going to keep busy and we're going to forget about it, and hopefully it will just move on. But you can't move on from that little stumbling block that was in your past until you let it go. Okay, let's go on. Number 7 says, commit to continuous growth. And this is where reading come in handy. You got to commit to developing yourself, commit to bettering yourself. I know that I have my cons, I have my pros too, but I have cons as well, because I be fighting a lot of stuff. But at the end of the day, guys, once I know where I need to work on, I got to go work on it. I know where my cons is. I know where I need to get some continuous growth, where I need to go and get it. I told you all, when it comes to development, motivational development or self-development, I go to Miles Monroe. I go to John Maxwell. See that? John Maxwell. When I'm looking for growth and developing myself, I'm going to go to John Maxwell. No, yes, I can find everything when it comes to the scriptures. I can find everything up in here in the book of scriptures. You better believe it. But at the end of the day, I don't know Matthew, James, and John personally. So when I read up on them, they're going to motivate me. They're going to help educate me on what's to come. But when it comes to self-developing and knowing and learning from myself and people that still living I could talk to here or ask questions to, you need a little side self-developing to go on so you could get it together too. Because we're dealing in a world with a bunch of all kind of people. Not everybody's getting this. Not everybody reads. Not everybody has a book of scriptures. Not everybody is in there, guys. So we got to be able to implement it in ourselves so that way we don't know who we're going to end up with. You don't know. So that's why you make sure that you do the right thing to encourage yourself. Don't be waiting for the outside to encourage you. You encourage you. But you can't encourage you if you are not healed from your past, if you are continuously going on with old patterns, if you can't take responsibility, if you have not yet mastered your emotions, if you don't have the your mindset is not shifted. You got to shift your mindset. There was an example that Miles Monroe gave a few years ago in regards to, the 40 years around to go to the promised land. And he explained that so beautifully. And he said, the reason why, the others didn't make it is because their mindset. So who took everybody out was Joshua, because he had a different thought process. So they had to go through a few generations in order for them to dilute that rough, tough, stiff neck thought process that they had in order to go to the other side. So he went and visited Jerusalem and came to find out that the same spot where they were at, and they moved to the other side, it only would have took like 40 minutes to move from one spot to the next spot, and it took them 40 years, guys. Imagine that. Your thought process is so stuck on 40 years of junk, or whatever amount of, put a time on it, because you know how old you are. And that is, you would never move on to the promise, to the other side, unless you let go. You gotta let go of all of that. And that's the reason why most of us are still stagnant. We are still in those dry places because we have not learned how to fix ourselves to move forward. All right. Number 8, believe in your potential. You have to know who you are. It goes back to finding out, who are you and why are you here in this season? Why you think God still have you here breathing on his land? Why? Why are you here? Ask yourself that. Because at the end of the day, it's to do God's will. So that means you're still here because he wants to use you for something. But you could go and find out what it is that he's trying to steer you to. Okay? And the last one is act on your dreams. I know we on our holiness walk, and I know that I guess I mean, I don't know about y'all, but I have big dreams. I have things that I want to accomplish. I have things in life that I would want to have a little here or there. I have still a family, young family that may want to travel certain places. We all have dreams and goals. Not just because I'm on my holiness walk means I need to like stay stagnant and stay stuck. You know, I have I have dreams, guys. So my number 9 for you guys is to make sure that you act upon your dreams. Don't just give up. Don't take it to the grave with you. You know where all the money is at? In the graveyard. People that never worked on their dream because they never learned their potential. They got cut off at the last two. They never believed in themselves, and they never had a dream. And that's where they stayed stuck, because some of us are stuck on step number 1, where we can't take responsibilities. Some is stuck on mastering emotion. Some of you all are stuck on shifting, learning how to shift your mindset and stop thinking so negative. Can we start thinking a little positive? And you may say, well, Paulette, how am I going to do that? Read more positive. Every time something negative come in, you put, for one negative that come to your mind, you add like 5 to 6 positives in. If your thought process is more of an invisible thought process, where you're thinking about lusting or lasciviousness or whatever you're thinking on, you may need to read the book of scriptures. Let me show you. Read the book of scriptures a little longer than 10 minutes. Read a little book of scriptures, probably 15 minutes. Guys, if your mind is all the way into lasciviousness, you may need to read a book of scripture a whole 2-3 hours. You may need a whole 2 to 3 hours after every hour to try and dilute whatever the devil have in your mind. We need to add some value and some time into ourselves. So self-care to me is very important. It's very important, and I feel like everyone should focus on mastering their emotions. learning how to control it so that that way we can be able to implement it in others. And once you treat other people well, guess what? When you treat that other person well, then they're going to feel like that. They're going to pay it forward. But imagine you have a bad attitude. What are you going to pass on? A bad attitude? No. So I'm going to read them again. The topic is mastering your emotions. And we are working on a little bit of self development today. And we're going to fix ourselves because everything else can wait. Everything else can wait here, guys. But these 9 tips you need to start activating in your life. Number one, take responsibility. Number two, master your emotions. Number three, we're going to learn to shift our mindset. Number four, we're going to find your purpose. Number five, break free from old patterns. Number six, we're going to heal from your past. Number seven, we're going to commit to continuous growth. Number eight, we're going to believe in our potential. You're going to believe in your potential. You can do it. Don't tell yourself you can't. Number nine, you're going to act on your dreams. Okay? And when you acting on your dreams and you're going through those eight, your season for mastering your emotion will be complete. And you're going to another season. Maybe God would use you to activate those 9 steps. And you may need to activate those 9 steps for the rest of your life because we always will be run short in those areas. We always will have to go back to try and figure out how can we do it a little bit better. What is it that we're holding on to that God have us stuck into that same little spot for so long? Yesterday, as I was mentioning to you guys, in regards to what's going on in my life, and I told you guys, for the last 15 years of my life, oh, I would say over 10 years of my life. Sometimes you say specifics and people is counting, but it's over 10 years. I've been questioning because sometimes you ask for things and you're like, Lord, why is it that I'm always the one in the test? When am I going to be the one on the other side? And I always tell you guys, I'm the go-to person in the family. I'm the one they're going to come to. I'm the one everybody's going to want. I'm the fixer. I'm the one. Show it to Paulette. Give it to Paulette. Pass it through Paulette. Let everybody know what's going on. And at the end of the day, guys, I just want you to know that it's overwhelming. It's not easy. It's not easy being the go-to person. Not easy being the fixer. But then when I realized that that's part of my purpose, that's why I'm here. And I fought it for years. I didn't want to. I didn't want to be the fixer. I didn't want to be the one that everybody will come to. Because I used to tell them, I'm not God. I can't fix everything. But my assignment was to make sure that I assist others in that area. And it's been going on for years. And I've been fighting it for years. And every time I would tell you guys that I would get on, my focus. And I'm saying, I'm going to focus. I'm going to do this. This is what I want to do. I'm going to execute it. And I just get like 2 steps to that spot. And then God would send somebody for me to help. Now, y'all know that I'm a natural giver by nature. I'm working on learning my little thing and not overdoing it anymore. But back then I didn't know any better, right? So he'll send me a rock. And here I am looking at the rock. Now I have my own rock digging my hole. And then all of a sudden I'll be presented with another rock. You can call it distractions if you want to, but let me tell you, when those rocks, when they're golden rocks, because when they're sent to me, I have to assist in order to get it out of the way. So once I assist and I get those rocks out of the way, then I move a little bit further, and then all of a sudden another rock, another golden rock. Because remember, this is part of my assignment. This is how I'm analyzing this to you guys. Another little rock will come. It's a golden rock because it was placed there, either to make sure that I'm learning my lesson, either to make sure that I've overcame whatever little thing I need to work on, and I'll move a little bit inch closer. Get a little close to what I want. I would see my dream. I could taste it, and all of a sudden, another rock, boom, and I got so frustrated. I was like, God, this is what I want. And he would always say, Paulette, I know what you want, but you're not ready yet. So I'm gonna send you these little rocks, these golden rocks, by the way, the ones that it's a life or death situation rocks, and you know they're your family. You know you love your family, Paulette. So we're gonna start sending all these little rocks for you so that you could focus over there. Let me deal with what's over here. And let me tell you guys, I fought him. I fought him. I fought him. I fought him. Ooh, I get emotional. I'm gonna try not to. And this year I said, forget it. I don't want the rock anymore. I don't want it. I said, you can have it. I said, you know what? I'm going to take all of it. I'm going to give it all away. I'm not going to focus on my rock anymore because you'll keep sending me other rocks that I'm not interested in. And I don't like to do it. It's too much energy, too much I'm wasting. And guys, just when I decided I was going to give up, can you imagine back in the day when and Moses was leading all those people out. They were murmuring and murmuring. Imagine how he feel, or just a glimpse of that is how I was feeling, overwhelmed. Everything had to tell Paulette to do it. Paulette was overwhelmed. And just when I said I don't want it anymore, forget it. You know, y'all, everybody, and guess what? Everybody that I helped assist with their rocks, they're successful. They're successful. I'm talking about dentists, doctors. I'm talking about engineers. I'm talking about all of it. Every little rock that was sent to me that I assist and bless with went on, and I'm looking at them and I'm smiling and I'm like, I know, Lord, that I'm being punished, but I don't know for what. And I'm looking and they're like, yeah, you remember that gold rock that you wanted? Oh, they say, I got it. And I'm like, yay! Yay! And then the other one would come and say, you remember that rock? She said, my rock is finished. I got me a double diamond rock, and my rock is beautiful. And I'm looking like, okay, Lord, I know you say I'm not jealous or anything, but I've been asking. I had the vision before they had the vision. I already had the vision, you know? I already had the vision. So at the end of the day, I'm looking around for rocks. And I'm like, Lord, where's my rock? Well, guess what, guys? The rock that I wanted for 10 years, I didn't have to fight for it. Oh my God. He handed it to me in my lap. I got my rock, my diamond rock in my lap. I didn't have to fight for it. I didn't have to look for the rock. It appeared and it was handed to me. And when I went to closing, I said, okay, I'm not paying this amount, I'm gonna pay this amount. Because remember, I was already upset that I didn't get a rock. Everybody else have their golden rock already that I helped way back in the day. Okay, but I didn't get no rocks yet. And all of a sudden, I'm like, okay, Lord, I'm gonna do this one more time, but I'm not so happy about it, okay? And then he came in and he told me, he said, okay, let me tell you something. I'm gonna give you this, Paulette. I know I felt you, I know your heart, but I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna give you your diamond rock. I'm gonna make you harvest it where you did not even plant. Guys, I harvest my rock that I didn't even throw a pebble at. That's how good God is. That's how good God is. Stop fighting. Let it go. When I let it go and start worrying about who God sent me to help with their rock, thinking about why am I helping you with your rock and I got my own heavy rock I'm digging for. And God turned around. I did not get pebbles from them. God already had my pebbles ahead of me. But I was so busy looking around, I couldn't see it. And it popped up on me, and I didn't fight for the rock. I didn't have to do anything for the rock. All I had to do is sit in my seat, be still, continuously pray and fast, and let God do what God promised he was going to do. And I got a rock. And I'm going to share it one day. Whenever everything is settled, I'm going to share you where my rock was, and that I was stumbling over for nearly 15 years, guys, and I got it. And I didn't have to fight for it. I put up the deposit. I told them what I wanted. They accepted. I told them when I wanted to close. They accepted. No rebuttals. And that's what happens when God is in control and you don't have any. Thank you very much. Now, with that, guys, I think if you all have any questions and concerns about this topic on mastering emotions and how to let go and let God, because everything else can wait, then place your comments in the box below. I'm going to start going through the going through these chats right now to be able to catch up. And I just want to say thank you guys for listening and watching. And I'm going to give you guys your shout out right now. I hope I didn't over talk you today, but I was so emotional and a little bit emotional, not too much, just a little bit. Okay, thank you, Georgina, for coming in and assisting. We have social media, Jared, EFP, yes, ma'am, is in the business. Sister Cynthia, thank you. Sister Dinico, thank you so much. Thank you. EFP says SMC. What is SMC? I'm not sure, sister. What is that? Sister, shout out to Sister Linda. Welcome. If you have not yet subscribed to this channel, just go ahead and, make it as convenient as possible and hit all the notifications so you can be notified. Hit that bell. I come on every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. We're going to talk about it. So it's these kind of talks and topics and stuff that I normally like to share, my growth, my faith walk, my struggles. We always sharing, and we always going to make sure that you guys leave with a little bit of encouragement. So that's what I hope that I always execute with. And welcome, sister. We appreciate you. You're listening from the beginning. Sounds good, Paulette. Loving the lessons. Oh, thank you. Thank you, sister. Okay. There we go. Yeah, this is a new computer, guys, so bear with me. Y'all, I'm listening. Thank you, social media. Sister Linda says yes. She says, Linda DeVolf says, I don't know where to start. 3.5 years, I lost my youngest daughter, then my mama, then my husband. I prayed, but I am so sorry, Sister Linda, for all your loss. I pray for your strength and your tenacity, and may God continue to strengthen you, that you'll be able to get through, your loss. Condolences to you and your family. You have my deepest sympathy. I am so sorry. All right, I have Sister EFP. Everybody's giving their condolences to Sister Linda, and we are so sorry. Nobody love when our loved ones leave us. It's the hardest thing, and to find comfort, within that. I mean, we got to just in due times. In time heals everything. And I am so sorry. My heart goes out to you. I'm so sorry. Sister Linda says, I thought I was led here. I love her sermon. Oh, makes so much sense. But was praying it was more live interactive. But I did subscribe. I love the message. Oh, thank you. I'll go ahead and add. I normally wait for the ending so that I could make sure that everybody can come up. So I'll post the link. Don't worry. If anybody want to come up and just share their journey, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. You come up and you just share your journey, or just share what it is that God has been letting you. I know today's topic was about master emotions. By the way, I wasn't preaching. I was just sharing what I'm learning as I'm growing in my faith, what I'm learning on my walk. And it was about emotions. And I know that is one of my biggest Achilles heel. So if I came off like that, I apologize, but it was just a talk that we would normally have on this channel, but not a sermon, Sister Linda. We don't preach over here, but we do love God. Okay. All right. Let me see what else is here. Let me see. Social media said, I've cried many nights to God, praying for my purpose, He will give it to you. Yes, He will. God, He already have it for you. He just be waiting until you grow up. Oh, I realized how immature I was. I'm telling you. You don't never know. Always always remember that God's plan is better than yours. And once I realized that even if I want something or I'm doing something or I'm going through something and he puts that little blockage, like say, I listen. I listen. If he said, you know why? Because if I had, imagine if I didn't help the ones with the block, helping them with their rocks, the one that God assigned me to. And now guess who is the ones supporting me right now when I got my rock placed in my lap? The same people. And then he sent outside people that you never planted a pebble on to come in and help guide you through. Yes. Remember, not every time we we plant on one side, meaning that we're going to harvest there too. Sometimes you could plant here and God end up making you harvest all the way across the world somewhere else where you was never even expecting. Why? Because he's God and he could do it. That's it. It's because he's God and he could do it, you know? So Sister EFP said, taking notes. All right. Sister Linda said, okay, thank you, admins, for seeing me, but I'm looking for a live. Paulette, please, when you do a live, you could help so many more. I'd love to listen to your sermons. Oh, okay. All right. Well, we come on live. I normally do every Sunday. Um, but we normally do like girls talk, just normal conversation, and we just talk about life in general. And if you want, I placed the link in the bottom. If you want to come up, you can just share as well. I mean, anyone is welcome up on the panel. Once I finish sharing the little topic, you guys are free to come up here and just share with us. You may teach me a thing or two. Okay, I'm always work on being teachable. Okay, I'm not perfect, and I will learn at any day. I have my little book right here. Look at here. I'm also take notes from you guys because you guys dropped some nice gems too. Okay, let's see. Social media said this is live at Linda, but not a sermon. Paulette may open the panel. Stay tuned. Thank you, Courtney. You're right. I'm this is not a sermon, guys. I am not a pastor, a preacher, and my beliefs don't love no woman preachers. So definitely in holiness ain't no woman going up there about and acts blah 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 and the blah. No, we don't do that. But we all do have normal lives, and we all do talk about life scenarios. So today was a life scenario in regards to mastering emotions. I do a lot of reading, Miss Linda, of self development. I do listen to a lot of like finance, and I do have my own business as well. So I educate on the side, but I also know that the best education is going to be coming from the book of scriptures, which is you may understand it as Bible. So reading your Bible, you get all the materials that you would need. And then this is just a little extra on the side just to keep you, a little polish, okay, if you want to mention. But thank you, Courtney, for clarifying that. Definitely. Whew, I would not. Oh, no. Mm-mm. No. I just wish on a live you could be more personal. Oh, yeah. I dropped the link, Sister Miss Linda. You could always come up. It's not a big, everybody is welcome. I'm all the way in the bottom here, so forgive me, guys. Um, there we go. Okay. And I'm definitely working this new computer. It just says she's amazing, just not what I'm looking for at the time. Yeah, to each his own, Miss Linda. You may need to go find, a male pastor and you be able to go and get your nurturing appropriately from them. They'll be able to give you better guidance and give you scriptures that you'll be able to read and heal from, from that your devastating loss. This over here, we just encourage, we motivate, but it's definitely may not be for you. Maybe the other guy's channel. I know in the next couple hours, Brother Ham and Brother Tony Harvin is going live, and maybe you can get some information from them. I'm not sure if one of our brothers going live. TNT is also a great source for you to go if you want to, get a little expansion of how to deal with your loss, and they can give you scriptures. I'll highly recommend you go on that side. But the ladies, which is me and EFP, we are we just talk about life experiences, you know, um, how we overcame, or how we are overcoming a certain scenario of growth in our life. That's what the ladies on the the holiness walk, that's how we talk about. So today I talked about much mastering my emotions, and that's the topic that I talked about, and how I'm doing to make sure that I can move to another season of my life without dragging all the negatives from my past into the future, and how you can grow from the things that happen to you and implement all the positive things in your future instead of staying stagnant. So that's what I look at. Greetings, Sister Roseanne. Sister Roseanne says, greetings to all. I am in the background. Sister D. Nicole say, I'm in the background listening. I'm at work. Can text, can't text much, but I'm here. Oh, thank you, sister. I appreciate you guys for coming in. I don't know if anybody else have any questions, or y'all want to come up on the panel. I already dropped the link. Um, and welcome back, Sister Linda. You mentioned that you came back, so I appreciate you for coming back, and thank you for the subscription. I appreciate it. On Monday and Monday Wednesdays, Sister EFP comes on. That's another EFP Media. She's another sister that comes on, and she'll talk about certain topics as well. But we don't preach sermons. The ladies don't preach, only the guys does that, and they have to be ordained to preach too, but mainly the guys can talk about a topic and give scriptures about it. So that's one thing that I'm also learning here. But I don't preach. It's not a sermon. It's just something that that you're not the only one out there going through it, something that we are also going through something, and we all share how we are overcoming it, and we grow together. That's all. She said, please know I was not complaining. I understand. We know that. No, 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 no need to apologize, because we know that. Okay. Um, so at the end of the day, it's like, it is what it is here, ma'am. You're welcome anytime, and whatever topic you want to talk about, you can come right on, and we'll be more than happy to help assist you. And sometimes the brothers will come in, and if they're in here, I would pull them up on the scene, so they can definitely answer your questions, or give you some scriptures on where you can go and read and try to comfort yourself in the future. Oh, well, thank you. To God be the glory. To God be the glory. I hope you took a few of the 9 tips on how we can master our emotions. I appreciate that, Sister Miss Linda. I appreciate that. But yeah, so we're gonna wrap this thing up, since nobody want to come on and show their face with me or share anything with me. Anyone else have any questions up in the comments before we come to a close? Please drop your questions or concerns, and if not, I'm gonna just go ahead and read the Fix Yourself 9 tips. So I left I'm gonna give you the link, and you just click on it. There you go. I'm gonna drop a link. You see that link? You click on the link, and then you could come up, and you could say hi, or just greet yourself, and then we can see you if you can. If not, then you're always welcome for next Sunday to come up. Sometimes it's me and another sister. Sometimes it's me and our brothers here on the. I have my phone on this side too. So if you all see me looking over here, it's because I have the phone and then the laptop. We all working together in sync. I had to make sure all the voice was perfect. Okay, but once you click that, you can always come up and basically just share. And if anybody want to come up and just share from their standpoint, nobody got to know. But if you tell, you can say, after I read. Let's do this. I'm gonna read the 9 tips to fix yourself on mastering your emotions. And then you're going to turn around and you don't have to tell me which one. You could just drop your number. If you have 2 places you need to adjust, 3, 4, 1, none, you could drop from 0 to 9. What number you're on? Are you on none? You're good to go. You got your emotions masters. But if you have within the 9 that I read, after I read, I would love for you guys to just drop your number. Just say, I got 3, 4. Nobody got to know which ones, because that's your personal business, unless you just want to share it with us. I won't tell nobody. Okay, we'll just stay right here on this YouTube street. But, it's good to get some interaction. So I'm going to read them again. The topic is master emotions. We're going to learn to master our emotions. It's a self-development, and we're going to fix ourselves. So we're fixing ourselves because everything else can wait. Okay? Number 1, you're going to learn to take responsibility. 2, master your emotions. 3, shift your mindset. 4, find your purpose. 5, break free from old patterns. Number 6, heal from your past. Number 7, commit to continuous growth. Number 8, believe in your potential. Number 9, act on your dreams. They're the 9 steps to mastering yourself and to fix yourself. So you're going to drop in the box below, and you're going to tell me how much you need to work on from the 9 that I just said. I wish Georgina was up in the comments to check all of them down and post them in there for you guys. So I will definitely copy these and put them in the descriptions in case you want to go back and, learn or go back and copy paste them out as well. It's for your own little booklet. You can put them in your booklet as well when you take your notes and work on them. So you guys go ahead. Let me see who else need to work on a few. Drop your number down. And with that, guys, if you all not ready to come up on the panel and say hi, then I'm going to say adios to you guys too. I love you guys for coming in. I see Sister Linda says she has 2 that she needs to work on. And I pray that those 2 that you have to work on, that you will master them with all flying colors. And everyone else that has a few of those to learn and to work on, that you master yours with excellent colors as well, because life is a journey, guys, and we grow every minute, every second of the day. It's always good to be teachable. It's always good to learn from others. Don't think that you know it all. We don't know everything. I don't know everything. I'm speaking for myself. I don't know everything. I'm always open and willing to learn. Knowledge is power. And that is how we grow, by sharing and making sure that we encourage, inspire, and, we make sure that we compliment others to do the same. All righty, guys. So with that, I'm done. Oh, thank you, Sister Roseanne says she love it. And I definitely had a blast today with you guys. Hopefully you guys learned something today. And if you love the video, make sure that you give it thumbs up. If you hate the video, you could give it thumbs up or thumbs down. Either way, the algorithm is going to love it. So go ahead, drop a comment. By the way, once I finish with this video, you go ahead and you drop a comment there so you can help with the algorithm, guys. And I just want to say, God bless you guys. Have an amazing beginning of your week. and I'll see you next time. Deuces.